Good. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Magnificent Mamas Thrive Live conversations and connections. So today we are getting together. No, it is not December. We're talking about Christmas right before we hit the recording. So I feel like it could be Christmas. It's not. It's not December. It's November. And it's the month that most people love to talk about gratitude and thankfulness and appreciation. So of course, we had to have Miss Lisa Condon on because this is what she talks about all day long. And I think what she's going to share with us today is all about gratitude in our business and having that gratitude help us grow our businesses. So she's going to share a little bit more. But before we get too deep into that, and before we introduce her, I want to have everyone introduce themselves and let us know who you are, what your business is, what's going on in your life, whether it's professionally or personally. And is there something that you need from us as the collective group to support you? So while you're thinking about that, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Elizabeth Sanchez, the founder and CEO of the Magnificent Mamas Collective. I am a holistic life coach for the last 30 years. So what I do is I bring together healing in natural ways and bringing the Magnificent Mamas together in a nurturing but connective way. So what I love about the Magnificent Mamas is that we're all women, not necessarily mamas. Oh, and one more thing I want you to think about while you're thinking of what you're going to say is tell me one of your favorite ways of what you call your girlfriends. Like I love mama. Like I call my girlfriends, hey mama, what's up? That's my phrase. I'm a New Yorker. I was raised among Italians and Jews and all kinds of ethnicities. So that whole mama thing was like I was like a teenager and I'd be like, hey mama, what's up to my teenage friends? So mama doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a mom or a fur mom. It's my word of endearment. So if you have one, just share with us because we want to know what your term of endearment is for your girlfriends. So that's what the Magnificent Mamas is all about. It's about us helping each other grow. A lot of us need healing. I don't know one of us who doesn't need healing. So we offer environments to bring women together to help in all facets of life, all areas of life, but allowing it to be a very healthy and organic way to come together. So I want to welcome you all for being on the Thrive Live show, because together we can elevate one another, we can vibe up, and we can feel good about who we are and lift one another up when we do feel good. So let's get to know one another. I'm going to pick on my first one to my left. So that's you, Stacey. She's like, oh, good. Tell us about you. What's your business name if you have a website? And also, how can we help you if there's something that you're needing today?
Okay. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. And my name is Stacey Proctor, and my business is Stacey Interiors. And my website is staceyinteriors.com. So I am an interior designer, and I also do project management. I have a background in faux finishing. That's how I first started. And so I love detail. I love color. I have a really good understanding of color since I was a painter. I like to help my clients. I like to empower them to create spaces that are uniquely their own. I think after COVID, our homes have become even more important to us. They're the places that we gather, the places that we work from. And so I really like to help people just create a space that they want to hang out in, a place that they feel safe, that they can come home and just escape from the world, and have their friends over. I like to help my clients. Either I can go pick out selections or we can go do it together. It just depends on how involved they want to be. So I do color consultations, shopping and selection, some staging work, let's see, home setup and arrangement. I really like to go in and take what you have and complement it with what's missing, and also change the energy flow in the house. A lot of times I just play the mediator between couples. One person wants this, one person wants that. So I listen and try to help us all create, or try to help them create a compromise. Right now I have the honor and the privilege of, it always is to help clients, but I'm helping a man whose husband just passed after 31 years together. And so we're creating a space that's his while also honoring his partner. And so it's not only a gift to help someone create the space, but also, just to help someone who's gone through that. And so I get to do the whole project management from start to finish. And he's really giving me a lot of leeway. So we're having a lot of fun. So that's an honor. I guess I like to just call my girlfriend's girl. That's really it. And I love the ladies around me, and that's one reason I really appreciate this group as well, is just the sense of community and the sense that we can all help each other, achieve our dreams and just to have a really good, fun life. So, yeah. So thank you.
Awesome. So you'll say like, "Hey, girl," like that's your thing. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. What's up?
What's up, girl? Thanks, Stace. Wendy, tell us about you. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I am the owner of Light Your Path. I bring people back into their heart space. I use my psychic abilities and pull cards, and I coach people into changing their perspective on life and help them reach their goals. Right now, I don't have a website. That's my next step. I'm actually in the process of really blowing my business up. I have a corporate job that I work during the day, and I'm done with it. I'm ready to just go full blast with my business. So I'm in the transformation expansion process of my business right now. So I guess that's just it. For me, my girlfriends, I call them lovey or loves. I just, hey, love, what's going on? That kind of thing. I kind of call everybody that, but primarily my girlfriends, because I'm very much about love and life and being in your heart space. So love to me is just, it just is a reminder for me, and just to show them that, I love them and very much cherish their friendships and stuff. So
that's awesome. I love that. Hey, love. Is there anything, and I also want to step back also, Stacey, was there anything that you need or that you can use support in right now in your personal or professional life? And Wendy, I'll ask you this or get you to answer the same question.
I think just the sense of community and the sense of support that, if you can do it, I can do it. And I just appreciate the reminder today I'm looking forward to the talk on being grateful. And I could always use referrals. Those always help. So thank you.
Awesome. All right, good. Wendy, how about you? Is there anything that you need support in today?
For me, I am not very tech savvy. So I am exploring like how to build a website, do those kinds of techie things. I'm more of a just do my business, not the nooks and crannies. So I'm learning. So, if there's anybody that, could teach me or whatever, that would be awesome to get some support in that area to really get myself out there.
Okay. Awesome. So if you guys have any answers for any one of these women who are going to share their needs or their need for support, we'll save that for the end and before Lisa shares her information. So if you have something or if you want to put it in the notes, you can put it into the notes of the side, conversation, or share it with us. Joanie, how about you? Why don't you introduce yourself today?
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. I am Joanie DeCantley. I live in Rehoboth, and I started my business by accident, laid off from my job, and I was working in a boutique and I had boob sweat. So I created my business Boobalicious, which is vegan body hygiene products. I launched 2 new products this year, and I'm just really excited. I'm here. I hope to empower other women that you can do anything you put your mind to. I started this business with Google and $75. And this year I was in Women's World magazine, not to brag, but just to let you know, don't give up, be persistent, resilient, and you can do anything you put your mind to. And I'm just so grateful for that. I write in my gratitude journal every day, and I'm just really excited and honored to be here. And I always call my girlfriends the girls weekend, the girls are my BFFs, and that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Is there anything that you need support in or anything that we can help you with today?
Well, I would love to get the word out because I'm doing a new marketing with my business. I just realized brides, everything's different to when we got married, but they do swag bags now for the bridal party for the hotels. So I'm creating Don't Sweat It swag bags for the groom and the for the bridesmaids. So yeah, I would just like to get the word out that, I am doing Don't Sweat It swag bags for the bride party.
Love it. That's such a cute idea. Love that. All right. Thanks. Lisa, we'll skip you and we'll go to Cynthia and we'll keep you for our speaker last. Cynthia, tell us about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is actually Cindy Dahl. My father always called me Cynthia, and my Zoom and all of my social media says Cynthia for purposes not necessarily to speak of here today. I am a distributor with a company called APL Go. Not really heard of in the United States. We've just been here for a year, but we've been in 65 countries for the last 10 years. So I'm super excited that I get to bring a new product that's innovative, one of a kind, negatively charged plant DNA in the form of a lozenge. And there's 15 different experiences. If you have a health goal or a health concern, I probably have a drop for that. And they are sweetened with molasses and beet juice, and they're just unbelievably taste good. And they're just helping people with health, which is what I always wanted to do as a nurse. Most of my career, I now can work on preventative health instead of treating chronic illness. So that's super exciting to me. So I call my girlfriends sissy, like sister. They're all sisters to me. And a lot of that comes from just my faith. And I've always called my daughter Sissy and her friend Sissy, and just so everybody's sister, which is really, really interesting. When my daughter says, I'm really not your sister, like I'm your daughter. So sometimes it creates a little bit of silliness about us. And for me, yeah, I've been journaling and choosing joy since, September of 2020. And so for me to do something consistent like that for more than 365 days is pretty amazing because I'm not a real consistent person. So I would say that help with distraction would be something in this world we're living right now. Any help on how to eliminate distractions and really stay focused on business building activities. I think that for me, and I loved when Stacey said, and referrals, of course, with my company, I'm able to provide free samples. And so I have a 5-minute video and a quick questionnaire, and I can customize free samples for women out there. And I have a drop for women's libido. And I think for the bridal bag, I need to hook up with Joanie.
I love that.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Great stuff. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few people who might need a drop for that. Whatever that is. Awesome. Allison, can you take yourself off of mute and share with us who you are?
Yes,
And,
sorry, I've had problems before. I couldn't get it off video.
Oh, I know. I think we were having a little problem with the Eventbrite link. So for some reason, is that what yours was too?
Yeah, then when I went back through regular Zoom, it seemed to be fine.
I'll have to let Eventbrite know something's not connecting. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
So I'm Allison Hauk Andrew, and I am a managing partner of a CPA firm in Rehoboth Beach called Falk Hassan. We have 3 offices in one in Rehoboth, one in Dover, one in Ocean City. I focus on small businesses. Entrepreneurial services, what we call our niche market. So helping small business owners. We do everything from payroll to bookkeeping to consulting, tax compliance, just making sure you're doing what you need to do to be able to grow your business financially, and also make sure that you're in compliance with all the requirements for your businesses. We are a women business owned CPA firm. We have been for probably at least 10 to 15 years, I think, if not longer. Not something we necessarily did on purpose, but we just had that many females get promoted. And so we qualified. And because of that, it gave us some pretty big opportunities with some pretty large clients in the country. We have multiple different niche markets. So entrepreneurial services is just one of them. And then I also am a kickboxing coach for Ignite Kickboxing, which is located inside of Rise now. So I really like to, empower women to get in a good workout. There's a lot more to Ignite Kickboxing than just working out. We do a lot of different things, both related to nutrition, mindset, and just making sure you're all on the right track. And as far as my friends, it kind of varies. Like when I'm texting, it's normally like, hey lady, what's up? So it's lady, sometimes it's mama, or just, hey you, hey. I don't know, it just changes.
Oh, that's awesome. What do you need in your business or personal life that we can support you in? Or what do you need?
In my business life, I need the government to stop changing tax laws every single year so that I can have a normal tax season.
We'll email them right now.
And actually, if anyone knows anyone, I need someone with a bookkeeping background like ASAP to work in this office. Actually, we just hired a couple more out of Dover, but we've been growing, which is excellent, but we definitely need some help. So if anybody knows anyone or has a friend that has a bookkeeping background, tax is definitely a plus, but not required. I'm hiring. So that's what I need from a business standpoint. From a personal standpoint, I'm actually like in a pretty good spot right now. I don't know that I necessarily need anything other than just a vacation, but I'm on a plane tomorrow. So,
So your prayers are answered. Perfect. Awesome. Shelly jumped in. So good to see Miss Shelly. Shelly, you get to share I think you're on mute. You are on mute. You just need to unmute. Share with us who you are. Tell us a little bit about your business, what's going on in your life, and how can we support you?
Good morning. I completely lost track this morning. That's probably my biggest thing. Work has been continually busy, but it really ramped up when COVID hit. And so I've been working at the pace has been kind of crazy. It's starting to balance out a little bit. And the last month, I actually just got back from a vacation, spent 8 days in Florida with our 2 adult children and their significant others. Had a fabulous time. My daughter got engaged while we were there, so it was really exciting. I'm looking forward to I'm just texting with her. She's trying to figure out how to tell the family because my family's kind of spread out from Florida to Canada up and down the coast. So it's hard to get everybody together. So that was very exciting. Work-wise, I keeping busy, but I do expect some changes by next spring or so. So I'm definitely looking at my, business plan for next year to find some alternative sources for my business. I'm with Capital Bank in residential mortgages, and personally, just trying to focus. I'm one of my major avenues of business has fallen off, is fallen off, and to no fault of my own. They basically, we work a lot with Shell Brothers. They created their own mortgage company, did a joint venture, and so that will affect my business a lot. But I'm also at a later stage in my life that the thought of not working quite as hard is very appealing to me, that I can focus on myself again. So that's what I'm kind of starting to plan for over the next year.
Awesome.
So that's about it.
Good. So tell us what you call your girlfriends or your word of endearment.
Oh, word of endearment. Oh gosh. That's a tough. I feel like I have been buried for about 2 years now, so probably balance is what I'm looking for, and just kind of focusing on myself again.
Awesome. All right. So do you have a word or a name that you call your girlfriends? Like I said, the Magnificent Mamas is a word that I used to always just call or always call my friends. Hey, mama, what's up? We've heard love, we've heard girl, we've heard the girls, sissy, hey, lady. Do you have one that you call your girlfriends?
Probably my biggest is sunshine. I'm always like, "Good morning, sunshine. How you doing today?" So I like to always start off any conversation with positive notes. So, and I find it was really ironic too. I started using it a lot more at the beginning of COVID when I started working from home. It was very rainy very rainy and dreary, you know, in the March, April period there. And I just found myself going, I need sunshine. I need sunshine. So I love the color yellow. I started using it more in my phrases. So sunshine.
I love that. That's awesome. Sunshine, and she needs balance. So maybe we need to get her out somewhere sunny. Excellent. So Lisa, why don't you share with us who you are, and then we'll open it up for if anybody has any advice or thoughts for one another. And then we'll go right into your conversation about gratitude.
Absolutely. So good morning, everybody. I'm so excited and grateful to see all of you on here. I have met most of you. Some of you don't even know that I've met you before. So Allison, you and I came to see you at a bartender event with a mutual friend of ours years ago. And I remember it was a really wonderful night. So anyway, so my name is Lisa Condon and I run Lisa Condon Enterprises. I am a business strategist. I'm also 50% left brain, right brain. So I do a lot in the business world, but I make sure that it's all based in things that are creative and passionate and ultimately in gratitude. The mission of my business is to spark inspiration, innovation, and collaboration through gratitude. And I've got a lot going on. I've got a book coming out next year. I'm also in a book that launches on Monday. So right now what I could use is just some support. So when I push that out via social media, I'm with 9 other women in this book, and it's really exciting. We did our kind of, pop the champagne bottle last night and on social media. So that was awesome. So what do I call my girlfriends? Here's what's crazy. I give everybody a nickname, it's what I do automatically. But here's what I also do. I tell my friends I love them. And it's so important to me. And it's something I started maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And at first it seems a little bit weird, right? You keep, hey, love you for family or really close friends. No, because I really do. I have love for all of my friends. And so I'm that person when you see the meme that says, make it weird and tell them you love them. Yeah, that's me. I make it weird. So so I'm very excited about being here today and seeing all of your beautiful faces. And there's so many things that I want to talk with each of you about afterwards. So I'll be contacting all of you to set some time up. I'm excited.
I love that. And that's why I get along with you so well, because I love you too. We got to meet for the first time in person a few weeks ago, but we were like BFFs, like before we even, I'm like, have I met you before? Like, have I seen you? Have I touched you before? And she's like, no. I'm like, because we talk online, but we never got to get together until this one time. And it was amazing. It was like the best first date ever. And
ever. And it lasted forever. It was so wonderful. And I don't know if the world's ready for our energy to be in the same place for, longer than 3 hours, Elizabeth, but maybe.
Maybe we'll just ease them in. So I want to open it up. Does anybody have any advice for each one of you, just to like crosstalk, just to give you an opportunity to share? I see Joanie is waving her hand. Who do you have thoughts for?
Well, I have 2 things. For a website, if you're on a tight budget at Fiverr, Fiver, it's very reasonable. It can, within your budget to build a website. And if anyone's looking for press for free, I get all my press for free. Help a reporter out, HARO. you have to do your homework. They send you emails. They're editors and journalists looking for stories or what you do in your business, and you can get free press. So there are 2 tips that I have.
Good
Thank you.
stuff. Awesome. Does anybody else have anything else for anyone? No? You're all just busy writing down. Good. Awesome. All right. Well, we will be sure to, again, give everyone who's on the call your information so you guys can connect with one another and learn more about each other and see how you can continue to support one another. That's what we represent as the Magnificent Mamas, just a nurturing space to not ever feel like to not know something is okay. I always feel like life is intimidating enough, and to feel like we have to be perfect or like we have it all together. The truth is we don't. So I've been in business for 28 years. I can tell you, but from experience, there are times where I have it all together, and there are times where I am a hot, stinking mess. And it's natural, and it's supposed to be. But the worst part is when you're supposed to look like you've got it all together and you're a hot mess. It's really conflicting. And guess what? As an energy worker, we see you. We just need you to just be real with yourself and just allow those of us who are nurturing and maybe not the hot mess that day to support you, to hold you, and to tell you it's going to be okay. We can get through this, but we can't get through this if we don't know about it. So that's the community that I create, and that's what I surround myself with. So if you feel in alignment with that, that's what I want you to show up for you, really, for your best being. So enough said about that. So let's go into our conversation about gratitude. So Lisa, today's conversation is you sharing with us some of your best tips and tools, but it's not for us to just sit here and listen. I want to invite you to give us some of your best tools and then let us open up for some dialogue. Is that okay?
Oh, I prefer that, because at the end of the day, we all are here to share space and to learn from each other. So by all means, and I'm watching the chat. So if anybody has something they want to say, throw it in the chat and I can pivot pretty quickly. So, yeah.
Awesome. Good. So you'd already told us a little bit about you and where you come from and your whole idea about sparking inspiration, empowerment, which is so in alignment with us as the Magnificent Mamas. Tell us where gratitude falls into. How are you going to build a business along the lines of gratitude?
So it's really interesting. I started the practice of gratitude almost 13 years ago, and a daily practice of it. And it was something I saw a friend of mine doing on Facebook, and I'm like, Terry, can I steal this idea from you? Like these 3 things I'm grateful for. She said, absolutely. And I've been doing it ever since. But what started happening to me as I was practicing it, and, Cynthia, I go back to something that you said around the consistency piece. And it's hard. It's hard to be consistent for anything for 365 days, much less 30 days, right? But what I started seeing over the course of time was a mind shift and making sure that I was very purposeful in what I was thinking about. So as time went on, it impacted my own business and how I was approaching things. And ultimately, what I realized is there's a way to shape and live your life and your business steeped in gratitude that really helps propel you forward. So let me talk about what that means. There's steps to it, right? So the first is really understanding your value system. And there's different ways of figuring that out. And there's also core values that align with you as an individual. And ultimately, if you're a business owner, they usually align with your business and what you've started. And if they don't, you should probably look at that. But also, if you do work for another company, a company always has its values. Sometimes they don't talk about it, but you really can figure out what they are pretty quickly, as you look around, as you look at what they're focusing their goals and energy on. And once you understand what those value systems are and I'm going to focus on the business part of it today, if that's okay, but we can dive into the personal, but I think the business piece is pretty unique. Because once you understand what the core values of your business are, then you can actually build that into everything that you do. You can build it into your goals, you can build it into your strategies, you can build it into job descriptions. And once you build that out, it then propels you into setting the boundaries of your business and ultimately being able to say, here is the type of client that I want, building your avatar and whatever that looks like in your business. But building that out and understanding who you want to attract, who you want to work with, but also being able to say no, which is sometimes more important than being able to say yes for many of us. And then when you overlay this notion of gratitude, gratitude helps each one of us resonate in just a higher vibration and a higher energy of optimism and joy and passion. And what starts happening is when you practice that and you've aligned your business with the value system, things start to shift. And things start to shift mentally. Your team starts to shift. Who you attract starts to shift. And there's tons and tons of white papers written on this from Harvard University and others that have the science around it is really phenomenal. But businesses have grown year after year by double, sometimes triple digits when they start actually aligning all of their work with value systems and understanding the values of their company. And there's so much more I could talk about this all day long, but when I work with businesses, I take them through a 9-step process of gratitude, and each letter stands for something. So there's an entire process of how to build all of this out.
So I'm curious, has anybody ever thought about the gratitude of their alignment in their business and what their core values are, and just even really identifying their avatar or their perfect client? Anyone have any thoughts on that one?
I'm seeing Joanie shaking her head yes. So I see you, Joanie. I see you.
Yes, I network all the time and I invest in myself with my business. And that's why it's grown, because I invest in myself. And I'm on a course now, exercising your perfect avatar. Mm-hmm. And it's homework. I have to do 2 paragraphs of my perfect avatar down to what my avatar drives, what car, a model, color, like it's really detailed. So I'm working on that right now.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It's funny when I have conversations with individuals and businesses that I'm working with. I talk about the car and all of that. I also, when you envision, and I encourage you to do this as well, when you envision what the future of your business looks like, don't just stop at the goals. Like, what are you seeing? What does your office look like? Or are you in an office? Or are you sitting on a beach somewhere working on your laptop? What are the smells that are around you? And that just helps to really build out how you're going to get there. Some people want to be in an office with 20 employees around them. That's fantastic. That's a different strategic plan, right? To get to that point than it is for somebody that wants to be a solopreneur sitting on the beach in the Dominican Republic, where I'll be in 4 weeks, by the way. So who else is getting on a plane tomorrow? Allison is, right? Yeah. I want to know where you're going. I'm a travel freak. I love traveling. But the other thing, Joanie, again, I would encourage you as you're building out this avatar, how are you aligning who this person is with the value system that you've built for your business? I think your story is super interesting. The why you started in kind of by accident because you had to, but with $75, girl, you go with your bad self. I love it. I think that's great. So identifying what those values of your business are and what joy and passion you're bringing to the world, does that when you look at your avatar, is that aligning with that?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love that. Thank you.
Sure. Absolutely.
Did anyone else need any clarity on that within your own business? Asking Lisa for support. Just finding that avatar. Sometimes some of us, and again, I think, Lisa, will you just delve a little deeper. Just because somebody is seasoned in business doesn't mean that this is a one step. You just figure out who your avatar for the first time and you just set it on the shelf. Again, as I shared earlier, 28 years in business, my avatar has changed multiple times and sometimes every 6 months.
Mhm.
And mainly because, and I'll just say this one more thing before I know she's got a lot of gems to give, but mainly because sometimes we find who our avatar is or our ideal client is, and we don't really feel like they're the ideal client anymore. We feel like, oh, I thought I did ask for that person. I know I ordered that up from the universe. That's how I would say it. But then I'd go, not quite in alignment with now who I am. So maybe I need to change that avatar a little bit, right? So go ahead, take it over, Lisa.
No. I think you're absolutely right. And I'm agreeing with you because even in my own journey, I've been running my own company for 15 years, right? But my company's evolved over the course of time. So I started it just on a whim because my values were no longer aligning with the corporate world that I was in, and realized it one day. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to move on because this is not bringing me any joy and I'm not bringing the best version of myself forward to the world. Right. And I needed to do that. I didn't have those words at the time. I just knew it didn't feel right. And so I started a company and really just took all of these tools because being in business the way that I was, there's a lot of things I could do. So I wasn't saying no to anybody. I was just taking it all. And that wasn't bringing me as much joy as I wanted it to. And again, I wasn't building necessarily the right foundation block. So I had to adjust that, which adjusted the people that I was working with. The first time I fired a client, I knew I was moving in the right direction. And the reason I did that was because I was not the best person to be working with this individual. They desperately wanted to work with me because we got along incredibly well, but I was not the right person to help them launch. They're actually doing incredibly well right now. We still stay connected, but breaking up, right, was like the best thing we could have done as business strategist with that individual. So I think the person that you work with and your ideal client changes as you change and as you continue to evolve and as your business continues to evolve. And so even with Lisa Condon Enterprises, I ran Red Sapphire Consulting up until about a year ago. And at that point, I had to change some things around and realize that my brand equity with Red Sapphire would have taken a lot more energy to help people understand that I was changing the work that I was doing than starting a new company. So I just said, forget it, I'm starting a new company. And again, with that, my ideal client has changed over that because again, I have evolved to that next step. I encourage people when you do a plan for yourself, you want to do your next year's plan. Obviously, you've got to build that out from a financial standpoint and build on that. But I also encourage people to do a 3-year plan that overlays values and gratitude, and also that journey map of who your client is, because more than likely they're not going to stay the same person. So while your financial and your business goals might be 1 year, you want to show the evolving piece of your business from who your clients are. Shelley mentioned something earlier about looking to really expand what the business looks like and who she's working with and diversifying that. And you can do that by understanding who your different clients are and digging into that through your avatar work.
So you're suggesting do it like for the next year, but also for the following 3 years.
Following 2 years. So a 3-year plan. So 36 months. Yeah. A 3-year plan. I do everything in threes. That's just for whatever reason, that is what I've done my entire career, everything in threes. And it works. And will that shift over the course of time? Again, science tells us that typically, unless there's some big change in life or business, 3 years, it stays not necessarily status quo, but in the same direction. And then usually after 3 years, there's some type of a shift that happens. So that's why I keep it in 3 years.
Excellent. Does anybody have any questions for Lisa on this topic? Are you wondering who your avatar is? who you're, and what I think that, two things I wanted to highlight. One, Lisa pivoted. If you noticed when in her story, she decided that red sapphire wasn't bringing her as much joy as she could at that point. So she decided that she wasn't going to shut shop, but she was going to take all that she had within her being, her inventory, all of who she was, all of her life lessons, and she pivoted just the way that she did her business. She more went into more alignment with joy, right? You've heard her use the word joy and gratitude. So she changed her verbiage, but she also the clients that she's attracting is also in alignment with her verbiage. So I know as a speaker, and we all say, if someone doesn't understand our language, then it's kind of time to not change who we are, but change where we speak, change the audience. So if people aren't getting what you sell or not getting the gist of it, maybe just change who you're speaking to. Does that make sense? Am I on that, Lisa? Am I targeting that?
You are, and I was looking at my whiteboard that I have because I used to have a quote up there and I don't have it anymore, but it was something along the lines of, if people don't get you, then they're not your people. Like, it was something very short and sweet like that. And it's really true. I think it's really true. And I think that happens in business. And I think it happens in personal life. We've all experienced it. Where, there's a season, right? And sometimes the season is forever. And sometimes the season is just that, it's just for a season. And, I think we've all experienced that in some way, shape, or form, for sure.
And giving yourself permission.
I'm
right?
sorry, what'd you say?
Giving yourself permission to change with the season.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
many of us get so stuck, like, well, this is what we're supposed to be doing, right?
Yes.
But giving us permission to say, it's okay for me to change. It's okay for me to evolve. Exactly. And I think that's a really big conversation and on many layers. But women in business we don't have anybody that we've followed, for many of us, because we're really one of the first generations of entrepreneurs, right? Mm-hmm. And so we don't have those mentors. So we're figuring all this out right now together, and just to be sensitive to ourselves and to be okay with, it's okay for us to change, and we're aging and we're getting wiser with our age, right? So it's okay to change who we are and what our business looks like.
Exactly. And we're so aligned. So what I was going to pivot to was something that I just want to touch on briefly, because I think it's just an important note for all of us, especially, I think it's for everybody, but especially for women. And it's this concept of the foundational garden. And Elizabeth, I shared a little bit of this with you, in our prior conversations, but if you think of a garden, and some of you have heard this before, but I live this. If you think of a garden, and I don't care if it's a flower garden, a vegetable garden, a garden you had when you were a kid, but if you think of your garden and everything that's planted in that garden is actually something that somebody has said to you over the years, whether it was when you were a kid, if you think of the experiences that you've had, all of these things are seeds that have planted in your garden. Some of them are rocks that are put in your garden. Some of it is slugs that have been put in your garden, but everything's in the soil of your garden. You have the decision and the choice of what you water. And if you are watering the things that have given you anxiety, given you doubt, given you sadness, then what's your garden going to look like? It's probably going to be weedy. It's not going to produce beautiful flowers or fruit. It's probably not going to be cultivated, probably not very colorful. But if you turn that and you start watering the things that have brought you joy, that have given you a sense of community, have connected you with others who, again, propel you forward and given you this positive light and energy, then what does your garden look like then? Is it colorful? Is it abundant? Are you getting fruits? Are you, digging up potatoes from the ground? What does that look like? And I think we all sometimes water the weeds, right? We all get into that space, but for me, it's a good visual to continually go back to and say, okay, what do I really want my garden to look like? Am I focusing on the right things? And, by even identifying the weeds that you want to pull out, it's because we've all had stories, right? And there's things that have happened to us, good, bad, or indifferent. And some people, and I see this sometimes too, they're like, man, I really haven't had any tragedy in my life, so I really don't have a story. Well, yeah, you do. I mean, that's fantastic that you've had this amazing journey. And why not share that and share it through your business and those life lessons? And how do you bring that to your clients? How do you bring that to the business strategies that you're building? So you don't always have to have trauma to have a story. That's another thing too. But we all have had people who maybe have not said the nicest things to us over the course of time, and those who maybe are in competition with you or who are jealous. That's especially women, women who empower other women. That's where the power is. And when you have women who are in competition, that's what tends to hold us back. And again, it's not just women, but it's just women on this call today. And Magnificent Mamas is about women. I think it's across the board. So anyway, that concept of foundational garden, I wanted just to make sure to bring up today. I think we could all use a little bit of that right now, especially as we head into the anxiety of the holidays.
I love that. And I wanted to just ask you to go a little deeper on that whole philosophy of competition. And, we've all heard it, like there's no competition, but there's just this underlying feeling of competition. Or maybe we're creating this story within our own mind of like, oh, this one's competing against this company or that one, help us feel at ease with competition, even if we are in the same business as one another.
Sure. Well, for me, I was a really competitive person. I mean, I played sports into college. Everything was a competition for me. And I remember being in Vermont, and I had met this woman over the years. And, again, I always wanted to be the best and do the best and be the best at business, all those things, right? And that's why goals are really good for me. However, one day she invited me to this after hours thing with a bunch of women, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'll go, just the whole, and I went, and I have to tell you, it changed my entire perspective, because what I realized was they were a bunch of business women. Some of them were in the same industry, some of them weren't, but again, I'm still getting goosebumps from the story, but the energy that was brought forward and just the power that was in that room, it was eye-opening. And it was like, oh, wait a second, there is enough business out there for everybody. And the way that I do things is quite different than, some other individuals. And clients are going to be attracted to who they're attracted to. And again, those words at the time didn't come to me. It was more of just this feeling and this eye-opening, like, wow, women, I can be friends with women, like I can be in the same space and move forward. And, I was in my probably, I don't even know how old I was, early 30s, maybe at the time. So I learned it a little bit later, right, in life. But at the same time, it really did shift my mindset. And I bring that forward, at the point, I try to refer people to everybody because number one, I'm not going to be the best for everybody. And number two, I'm not going to have the time for everybody. So it's great to have other people in your same industry that do the same things that you do, that you can actually rely on. You can also talk to them about business. So for those of us that are solopreneurs and, or, don't really have colleagues within our business, that we can have these mindset talks and these strategic talks and be authentic and honest and vulnerable. What an amazing place to be, where you can have somebody that really is going to understand you, speak the same language you have, or even be able to strategize with and partner with and collaborate with. And I mean, imagine what that looks like versus just being in your own tunnel.
Absolutely. I feel like that's what's so important right now. And just to empower and inspire women to see that we are not in competition. None of us, even if we do the same exact thing. I speak completely different than another empowerment coach or spiritual coach or whatever you're looking for. Like whatever your thing is, you do it different because you are you. And I think that that's the beautiful thing for us to just even look at, turning inwards with gratitude to say thankful that who you are and what experiences that you've been through, that you could either help somebody else or also just connect with another person to say, we're not in competition. I mean, I'm asked all the time, Elizabeth, is so-and-so in competition to you? Nope. I've never been in competition. My first health and wellness practice was 2 doors down from another woman who did the same exact thing. And she said to me, do you feel competitive, a competition? And I was 27 years old when I opened my first brick and mortar. I worked for someone else's, but within his. When I opened my first brick and mortar, 2 doors down, she opened hers like within months. And she's like, do you feel like that I'm competing with you? And I said, absolutely not, sister. You and I are completely different. I should have called her mama.
I was going to say, did you call her mama or sister there, Elizabeth?
I do both. I do both. Because Magnificent Sister wouldn't have sounded the same, but Magnificent Mama's got a good ring to it. So, but I said to her, there's no competition. And as it turned out, she was just as successful as I was. And we would get together for coffee and we would exchange. And the nicest thing was that we felt good about where we were. And there is enough. And when you come from that abundance mindset, there is so much to give and to receive. So I feel like that's such a powerful statement, Lisa. So thank you for shedding light on that. Is there anything else that you want us to know before we wrap up and that in alignment with gratitude in your?
Yeah, I think the only thing is, as you are navigating in the next probably 6 weeks or so till the end of the year, please make sure to take the time for yourself and breathe. And remember, again, the grateful fours is not just about, when you sit around a Thanksgiving table, for those of you that celebrate and say what you're thankful for, although that's a beautiful moment, but it's really about looking back and reflecting on what have you been able to inspire in others, inspire in yourself this year? What are the celebrations, even small, that you've missed? Take those moments to celebrate that for yourself. And it's super important to do that. And again, it gets to be a busy time of year. So give that gift to yourself.
That's awesome. What an amazing pause for all of us to really just take into consideration, to just think about all the great things. So thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing your wisdom, for bringing light to the subject, for allowing us this platform for us to all come together and share. Does anyone have any thoughts or questions or last minute ideas for one another or for Lisa? No. All right, then. Well, I'm going to allow you to all step into your day with magnificence. I look forward to seeing you all within the community. There's all kinds of events going on. January is going to bring some new things. So I'm excited to announce and share different events starting in 2022. So keep looking for that. And we'll always meet in the Thrive Live conversations like this once a month. So look for those as well. So you can meet different people. Every month shows up new and different people to get together with and to connect with and learn about. So I am grateful for new faces. So if you want to share with us your friends, please do. But until then, I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of the holiday season. Whatever you do celebrate, just pause and really tune into what you're grateful for. So thanks so much for being here today. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank
Thank you.